Good evening and welcome back, ladies, gents and Pikachus. We'll be returning once again to our reading of the First Book of Enoch, in which I think we got to chapter 22, so now we're going to read 23 up to the end of 35. And what's going to be contained in those verses is the rest of the dream vision of Enoch describing the hell that he has seen, which will be the punishment location for the fallen angels and the evil luminaries that drop from heaven. He's going to give us a little bit more detail about the 7 mountains which he described earlier in the words and descriptions of God's holy angels. So, without further ado, let's carry on. Chapter 23. The fire that deals with the luminaries from heaven. From thence I went to another place to the west of the ends of the earth. And I saw a burning fire, which ran without resting, and paused not from its course day or night, but ran regularly. And I asked, saying, What is this that rests not? Then Raguel, one of the holy angels who was with me, answered me and said unto me, The course of fire which thou hast seen is the fire in the west, which persecutes all the luminaries from heaven, who are the fallen angels. Chapters 24 and 25. The 7 mountains in the northwest and the tree of life. And from thence I went to another place of earth, and he showed me a mountain range of fire, which burnt day and night. And I went beyond even that, and saw 7 magnificent mountains, all differing from one another. And the stones thereof were magnificent and beautiful, magnificent as a whole, and of glorious appearance and fair exterior. 3 towards the east, one founded upon the other, 3 towards the south, one upon the other of those, and deep rough ravines, no one of which joined the other. And the 7th mountain was in the midst of these, and it excelled them in height, resembling the seat of a throne. And fragrant trees encircled the throne, and amongst them was a tree such as I had never yet smelt, neither was any amongst them nor others like it. It had a fragrance beyond all fragrance, and its leaves and blooms and wood wither not for ever, and its fruit is beautiful, and its fruit resembles the dates of a palm. Then I said, How beautiful is this tree and this fragrance, and its leaves are fair, and its blooms very delightful in appearance. Then answered Michael, one of the holy and honoured angels who was with me, and was their leader. Chapter 25. And he said unto me, Enoch, why dost thou ask me regarding the fragrance of this tree, and why dost thou wish to learn the truth of these things? And I answered him by saying, I wish to know everything about everything, but none more especially about this tree. And he answered, saying, This high mountain which thou hast seen, whose summit is like the throne of God, is the throne of God, where the Holy Great One, the Lord of Lords, the eternal King of Kings, will sit, when he shall come down to visit the earth with goodness. And as for the fragrant tree, no mortal is permitted to touch it till the great judgment comes, when he shall take vengeance on all and bring everything to its consummation for evermore. It shall then be given to the righteous and the holy. Its fruit shall be food to the elect, and it shall be transplanted to the holy place, to the temple of the Lord, the eternal King. Then shall they rejoice with glad. And into the holy place shall they enter, and its fragrance shall be in their bones, and they shall live a long life on earth, such as thy fathers did live. And in their days shall no sorrow or plague or torment or calamity touch them, they shall be without sin. Then blessed I the God of glory, the eternal King of kings, who hath prepared such things for us the righteous, and hath created them and promised to give them as such. Chapter 26. Jerusalem and the mountains, ravines, and streams. And I went from thence to the middle of the earth, and I saw a blessed place in which there were trees with branches abiding, and blooming, such as of a dismembered tree. And there I saw a holy mountain, and underneath the mountain to the east there was a stream, and it flowed towards the south. And I saw towards the east another mountain higher than this one, and between them a deep and narrow ravine. In it also ran a stream underneath the mountain. And to the west thereof there was another mountain, lower than the former, and smaller of elevation, and a ravine deep and dry between them. And another deep and dry ravine was at the extremities of the 3 mountains. And all the ravines were deep and narrow, being formed of hard rock, and trees were not planted upon them. And I marvelled at the rocks, and I marvelled at the ravine. Oh, I marvelled so very much. Chapter 27. The purpose of the accursed valley. Then said I, For what object is this blessed land, which is entirely filled with trees, and this accursed valley between? Then Uriel, one of the holy angels who was with me, answered and said, This accursed valley is for those who are accursed forever. Here shall all that are accursed be gathered together, who utter with their lips against the Lord unseemly words, and of his glory speak hard things. Here shall they be gathered, and here shall be their place of judgment. In the last days there shall be upon them the spectacle of righteous judgment in the presence of righteousness for ever. Here shall the merciful bless the Lord of glory, the eternal King of kings. In the day of judgment over the former, they shall bless him for his mercy in accordance with which he has assigned them for. Then I blessed the Lord of glory, and set forth his glory, and lauded him gloriously. Chapter 28. Further journey to the east. And thence I went towards the east, into the midst of the mountain range of the desert. And I saw a wilderness, and it was solitary, full of trees and plants, and water gushed forth from above, rushing like a copious watercourse which flowed towards the northeast, and it caused clouds and mists and dew to ascend on every side. Chapter 29. And thence I went to another place in that desert, and approached to the east of the mountain range, and there I saw aromatic trees exhaling fragrance of frankincense and myrrh, and the trees were almost similar to the almond tree. Chapter 30. And beyond these I went afar to the east, and I saw another place, a valley full of water, and therein was a single tree, the colour of fragrance trees such as the mastic. And on the sides of those valleys I saw fragrant cinnamon, and beyond these I proceeded to the east. Chapter 31. And I saw other mountains, and amongst them there were groves of trees, and there flowed forth from them nectar which is named Sarara and Galbanum. And beyond these mountains I saw another mountain to the east, and to the ends of the earth, whereon were aloe trees, and all the trees were full of stacte, being like almond trees, and when one burnt it, it smelt sweeter than any fragrant odour I had ever known. Chapter 32. And after these fragrant odours, as I looked towards the north over the mountains, I saw 7 mountains full of choice, and fragrant trees and cinnamon and pepper. And thence I went over to the summits of all these mountains, far towards the east of it from the earth, and passed above the Erythraean sea, and went far from it, and passed over the angel Sotael. And I came to the garden of righteousness. And from afar off trees, more numerous than I had seen, these trees and great 2 trees there, very great, beautiful even, and glorious, and magnificent, and within them the tree of knowledge, whose holy fruit they could eat, and know great wisdom. That tree is in height like the fir, and its leaves are like those of the carob tree, and its fruit is like the clusters of the vine, very beautiful, and the fragrance of the tree penetrates afar. Then I said, How beautiful is this tree, and how attractive doth it look! Then Raphael, the holy angel who was with me, answered me and said, This tree is the tree of wisdom, of which the father old in years and thy aged mother, who was before thee, have eaten, and they learnt thy wisdom, and their eyes were open to all things, and they knew that they were naked, and they were driven out of the garden. Chapter 33. And from thence I went to the ends of the earth, and I saw there great beasts, each differed from the other. And I saw birds, wondrous birds, all differing in appearance and beauty and voice, one differing from the other completely. And to the east of those beasts and birds, I saw the end of the earth, whereupon the heaven does rest, and the portals of heaven did open. And I saw how the stars of heaven came forth, and I counted the portals out of which they proceeded, and wrote down their outlets, each individual star by itself according to their number and their name, their courses and positions, and their times and their months. And Uriel, the holy angel who was with me, showed me these things. He showed me all things, and wrote them down for me, Also their names he wrote for me, and their laws and their companies in accuracy. Chapter 34. Enoch's journey north. And from thence I went towards the north to the ends of the earth. And there I saw a great and glorious device at the ends of the whole earth. And here I saw 3 portals of heaven open into the heaven, through each of which proceeds north winds. When they blow there is cold, hail, frost, snow, dew, and much rain. And out of one portal they blow for good. But when they blow through the other 2 portals, it is only with violence and affliction upon the earth, and they blow with such violence. Chapter 35. And from thence I went towards the west, towards the ends of the earth, and saw there the 3 portals of heaven open, such as I had seen in the east, the same number of portals and the same number of outlets, just alike. Actually, we're going to read chapter 36 as well and then end there, because I feel like this bit's going to be really relevant to understanding. Chapter 36. The journey to the south. And there went I went to the south, to the ends of the earth, and I saw therein 3 open portals of the heaven. And thence there came dew, rain, and wind. And from thence I went to the east of the ends of the heaven, and saw here the 3 eastern portals of heaven open, and smaller portals above them. Through each of these smaller portals pass the stars of heaven, and run their course to the west on the path which is shown to them. And as often as I saw, I blessed always the Lord of Lords, and I continue to bless the Lord of Glory, who has wrought great and glorious wonders, to show the greatness of his work to the angels, and to the spirits, and to the men, that they might praise his work and all creation, that they might see the work of his might, and praise the great work of his hands, and bless him our Messiah forever. So, that was Enoch's dream vision describing his detailed visions of the heaven, the abyss, and then hell past the abyss, which stops people leaving, and how it was actually God's angels that allowed him to have this vision, even describing it to him where he asked questions, and giving him a written copy, which suggests that the angels of God, the holy ones, wanted Enoch to share this revelation with us. And although the Catholic Church deemed this to be apocryphal, not biblical writing, if Enoch is to be believed, these are things we should know. And I feel like from this book we can know them, and we can learn of the Holy One's wisdom. So, I really enjoyed that. I thought that was the best part so far. We'll be carrying on tomorrow night when we do more Book of Enoch reading. That's all for tonight, so I hope you enjoyed that and you learned something. God bless, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now. So, that's all for now. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll be back tomorrow at 7:15 AM with more Without Lies, Islam Dies, with the return of the Quran of the Muslim. So I will see you then. In the meantime, have a lovely evening. God bless you all. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.